Everything you have felt until now, all the doubts, all the unrest, all the times you asked yourself, why is this happening to me? It was not by chance. Have you noticed? No matter how much you try to ignore, evade, or distract yourself, the feeling returns. It always returns. Because there is something you need to understand, something you need to see once and for all. You can't postpone it any longer. Look around you now. Everything happening in your life, the people, the challenges, even the things that seem insignificant, are trying to show you something. You feel it, don't you? It's like there is a message behind each situation, something that only you can decipher. But have you been listening? Have you been paying attention? Or do you continue on as if on autopilot, pretending that everything is fine while deep down you know it's not? I'm going to be clear with you. Life is not against you. It never has been. But if you keep ignoring the signs, it will scream. It will scream in a way that you will no longer be able to avoid. Because no matter how much you try to resist, escape, or convince yourself that you are in control, there is something much bigger happening here. Something that wants you to awaken, to finally see what you have been ignoring for so long. You feel that something is wrong, don't you? That feeling that something is missing. It's not paranoia, it's not drama, it's not all in your head. It's real. And you know it, but so far you have chosen not to confront it. You've chosen to keep busy, distract yourself, and look for answers outside. But tell me, did that solve anything? Did it solve this emptiness that seems to follow you, even when everything appears to be going right? The truth is that you already know what you need to do. You know what is holding you back, what is stopping you, what is tying you to this place where you no longer want to be. You just don't want to admit it. Out of fear, out of insecurity. Because accepting this means change, and change takes work, it hurts, it's scary. But how long will you continue like this? Will you let life pass by while you try to silence something that deep down only wants to help you? You are at your limit. I know you are. You know you are. And the choice is yours. You can continue ignoring it, pretending that everything is fine, or you can take the first step. It doesn't need to be a perfect, big, or definitive step. It just needs to be a step. I know that you are tired. Tired of carrying burdens that don't seem to be yours, of trying to find meaning in things that no longer make any sense. You are holding on to so much, people, expectations, fears, guilt, that you haven't even noticed how much it is destroying you. And do you know what's worse? You've gotten used to it. You've gotten used to living in this constant state of tension, as if it's normal, as if there is no other way to live. But there is. However, no one is going to free you from this. No one is going to show up to hold your hand and tell you exactly what you need to do. It's just you and the choice you need to make now. And yes, I know it's hard. I know it seems unfair, but it is necessary. Because as long as you continue waiting for something or someone to save you, you will remain exactly where you are. Stationary, stagnant, trapped in this cycle that seems to have no end. Have you ever stopped to notice how your life is dominated by fear? The fear of making mistakes, the fear of disappointing others, the fear of change. And as much as you say you want a transformation, you cling to these fears as if they were a part of who you are. But they are not. They are just stories that you created or that were told to you, and that you now repeat as if they were absolute truths. But they are not. They are chains that hold you back, that prevent you from being who you truly are. And do you know what is the most cruel thing about all this? You haven't even realized how much you are sabotaging yourself, because deep down, you are afraid to discover that you are capable of much more than you imagine. You are afraid to take control, to recognize the power within you, because it means you will no longer be able to blame anyone, not the circumstances, not the past. It means that you will have to face the truth, and the truth sometimes hurts, but it also sets you free. And that's what you want, isn't it? Freedom, peace, a greater sense of purpose. I know it is, but to get there, you need to stop running away. You need to face head-on everything that you have been avoiding. What is it? The pain, the loneliness, the insecurity, the regret. Whatever it is, you need to look at it, because what you don't face controls you. What you don't accept binds you. So ask yourself now, what am I running away from? What am I so afraid to feel, to admit, to confront. Answer honestly. No lies, no excuses, no beating around the bush. Only you can answer. And maybe you'll tell me, I don't know. But you do know. You just don't want to access that answer because you know it will force you to change. But let me ask you something. What's worse? Facing it now, with all the pain and discomfort it may bring, or continuing to carry this weight for the rest of your life? Because that's what's going to happen if you do nothing. Life won't stop to wait for you. Time won't be gentle. And the choice you don't make today will be the prison you will live in tomorrow. You feel it, don't you? That knot in your chest, that feeling that you're losing something, that you could be living more, feeling more, being more. That's your soul trying to wake you up, trying to remind you that life is now, not tomorrow, not when you have more money, more time, more courage. Now. And you are wasting it. You are letting yourself be carried away by everything that distracts you, that consumes you, that makes you forget who you really are. And I'm not here to judge you. I'm here because I know you need to hear this. Because if no one has told you before, I will tell you now, you are not alone. As much as it seems that no one understands what you feel, that no one sees what you go through, you are not alone. But that doesn't mean you can keep waiting for someone to come and solve everything for you. What you want, what you seek, will only be achieved when you decide to act, when you stop waiting, when you decide enough is enough, enough of accepting less than you deserve, enough of pretending everything is okay, enough of letting fear, guilt, the past define you. You are not your pains, you are not your mistakes, you are not the things that went wrong. You are much more than that. But you will only discover this when you stop looking back and start looking within. That's where the answers are. Not outside, not in what others say, not in what society expects of you. Inside. It's always been there. But let me ask you something. Are you really ready to change? Because change requires courage. It demands that you leave behind everything that no longer serves you, even if it's painful. It requires you to face the parts of yourself that you are ashamed to show, that you prefer to hide. And it demands that you stop sabotaging yourself, because it's no use saying you want to be happy, that you want to live a full life if you keep choosing the same things, the same people, the same habits that keep you stuck in this place. So, tell me, what are you going to do now? Are you going to keep standing there, waiting for life to change on its own? Or are you going to start changing yourself? This is your choice, and no one can make it for you. But I will tell you one thing. If you choose to change, even though it's hard, even though it hurts, you will thank yourself for it. Because, at the end of the day, everything you want, peace, freedom, purpose, is on the other side of fear, and only you can cross over. The question is simple. Either you face reality now, or it will continue to suffocate you. The problem is that you have been waiting for the perfect moment, the ideal situation, as if suddenly something magical would happen and push you forward. But do you know what the truth is? That moment will never come, never. There is no right time. The right time is now. It always has been now. You have been spending so much energy holding on to things that hurt you that you haven't even realized how exhausted it's making you. Look at yourself. Look at the fatigue you carry on your shoulders, in your chest, in your mind. It's not just physical, it's emotional, it's spiritual. It's the weight of living while trying to be someone you are not, trying to please people who don't truly see you, trying to fit into standards that were never made for you. And you know what's most painful about all this? Deep down, you know that you're betraying yourself. You know that you're saying yes when you should be saying no. You know that you're accepting crumbs when you should be demanding what you deserve. But why? Out of fear? Out of guilt? Out of this need to be accepted, validated, loved? It doesn't matter what the reason is. The truth is that you're drifting away from yourself. You're ceasing to be who you are to live what is rightfully yours. And this needs to stop. I'm not going to tell you that it will be easy. I'm not going to promise you that just wanting it will magically resolve everything, because it won't. It's going to be difficult, it's going to hurt, it will seem like you're losing everything. And at some point you probably are, because to grow you need to leave things behind. You need to give up what no longer makes sense, no matter how comfortable it seems. It's the price of freedom. But tell me, what's worse? The pain of changing or the pain of staying exactly where you are? You have a choice. And no, it's not a small choice. It's the choice of who you want to be from now on, what kind of life you want to live, how you want to feel every day when you wake up. And don't tell me that you have no control over that. You do, you always have. What happened is that you handed that control over to other people, to circumstances, to beliefs that aren't yours. But now it's time to take it back, to reclaim the power that you've always had but ignored for so long. And what does it mean to reclaim this power? It means saying no to everything that doesn't do you good, to people who drain you, to situations that diminish you, to thoughts that sabotage you. It means stopping living based on others' expectations and starting to live based on what you really want. But for that you first need to discover what you want. And that's the part that scares the most, isn't it? Because admitting what you want means admitting that you're not living it now. And that's a hard truth to swallow. But I'll tell you something. You deserve more. And no, I'm not saying this to comfort you or to superficially motivate you. I'm saying it because it's true. You deserve more, but you need to believe this. And not just as a pretty idea, but as a conviction. Because as long as you continue to accept less, that's exactly what you'll get. The world treats you the way you allow yourself to be treated. So, what are you allowing now? Stop and think for a moment. Close your eyes if necessary. Who are you? Not what you do, not what you have, not what others expect of you. Who are you really? Who is the person behind all these masks you wear to please, to belong, to survive? I know this question isn't easy. Maybe you don't even know how to answer it. But you need to start trying. Because as long as you don't know who you are, you'll keep living a life that isn't yours. And I know what you're thinking. That all of this is easy to say, but hard to do. And you're right. It is hard. It's a fight. But it's the only fight worth fighting. Because in the end, it's about you, about your life, your happiness, your peace. And if you don't fight for it, who will? Do you really believe that someone will come and fix everything for you? That suddenly the universe will align all the stars and make everything okay? It won't. You need to do this. For you. So tell me, what is stopping you now? Not tomorrow, not next week, now. What is holding you back? Is it the fear of what others will think? Is it the fear of failing? Is it the fear of stepping out of your comfort zone? Be honest with yourself. And when you find the answer, ask yourself, is this more important than my happiness? Because if it is, maybe you need to reassess your priorities. But if it's not, and I believe it's not, then what are you waiting for? No one can live your life for you. No one can feel what you feel, carry what you carry, wish for what you wish for. It's all you. And that may seem lonely, but it's also liberating. Because it means you have the power to change. Not everything at once, not perfectly, but one step at a time. And each step you take in the right direction will bring you closer to the life you deserve to live. Now tell me, are you ready to start? It doesn't have to be a grand beginning. It can be a simple decision, a small gesture. But start. Because the more time you wait, the more you'll regret not starting sooner. And you don't want to look back a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and realize you did nothing, that you stood still, waiting. You don't want that. I know you don't want that. So, what will it be? Are you going to stay there, in the same place, or take the first step? The choice is yours, and I'm here to remind you that you can, that you are able, that no matter how difficult it seems now, it will be worth it. It always is. You just need to start. Now it's up to you. Life has brought you here for a reason. It wasn't a coincidence that you reached this moment, reading these words, feeling that weight on your chest and that restlessness in your mind. Don't ignore it. Don't treat it as just another text, just another random moment. This is a turning point, but only if you decide it will be. It's your decision. The first step doesn't need to be perfect. In fact, it never will be. The important thing is to start, even if you're afraid, even if you have doubts, even if you don't have all the answers. Begin with something simple, a choice. Choose to say no to something you know isn't good for you. Choose to dedicate some time to yourself, to listen to your own thoughts without judgment. Choose to believe that yes, you deserve more. Because you do. And this isn't just a pretty phrase, it's the truth. Remember, you don't need to solve everything at once. Transformation happens one step at a time, and every step counts. Today, It's recognizing that you're tired of carrying all this. Tomorrow it's taking a step in the direction of something that makes you feel alive again. The next day it's facing something you've avoided for years, and so on. Progress is not linear, and that's okay. The important thing is not to stop. And as you take these steps, remember, you don't have to do it alone. Seek support. Don't be afraid to share your pains, your doubts, your fears. Because as personal as this journey is, you don't have to walk it in complete isolation. There will always be someone willing to listen, to understand, to walk alongside you. You might find these people in unexpected places, or maybe they are already there, around you, waiting for you to give the first signal. But above all, trust yourself. Trust in your ability to overcome, to grow, to change. Because everything you need is already within you. It may be hidden, muffled by everything you've been through, but it's there. And when you start to access this, to connect with this strength that is yours, you will realize that you always had everything you needed to live the life you want. Now I have a request for you. If this text resonated with you, if something here touched you or made you reflect, I want you to do two simple things. First, subscribe here. This way, you'll continue receiving messages like this one, which can help you take more steps in this journey of transformation. Secondly, share with me in the comments what impacted you the most. What was the point that moved you the most? I want to hear from you, because by sharing your experience, you not only strengthen your own journey, but also inspire others to do the same. And don't forget to leave your like. It's more than a gesture. It's a way of telling me and yourself that this was important, that this made a difference. And more than that, it's a commitment to yourself, that you will start to act, to change, to transform, because you deserve it, and it's time to live as someone who knows that. So now it's up to you. What will be your first step?